In this video we're going to be talking about strategies for solving and graphing various functions. So solving equations and graphing them. Okay, so some different methods that we have. We could just be solving in my first one here. So I could, let me write it in. I'm going to write the problem in each one of these, so hold on one second. Alright, so my first one here I could go ahead and solve. So if I'm getting x by itself, we could add 5. Opposite of squaring is going to be square rooting. So I've got x plus 3 equals plus or minus 3. Okay, so then I'd be subtracting 3 from both sides. So I would get x equals 3 minus 3, and then x equals negative 3 minus 3, because I have the positive 3 and the negative 3. So 3 minus 3 would be 0. Negative 3 minus 3 would get me negative 6. Okay, my next option here, we could bring our 4 over. So I'm going to subtract them over and get negative 9. We could go ahead and FOIL this out. So if there's a squared there, that means there's 2 of them. So when I FOIL, I should get, or box or distribute, I'll get x squared plus 6x plus 9 minus 9 equals 0. Well, 9 minus 9 is going to get me 0, so I'll have x squared plus 6x. I can't factor this, but there is a GCF. There's a GCF of x that I'm going to take out, so I'll get an x plus 6. Now that I've factored like this, we can do our ZPP. So if I set this equal to 0, I'll get x equals 0. This one, if I set it equal to 0 and solve, I'd subtract 6, so I'd get x is equal to negative 6 again. Okay, the last method is a little more confusing. It's working with sets of parentheses that make it a little bit tougher. So I'm just going to write it out, and if you want to choose this way, you can go ahead and do it. So I would get x plus 3 minus 3. This is x plus. This is after we subtract the 4 over. So we'd have a negative 9. That's where I'm getting this minus 3 in here. And then I've got x plus 3 equals 0. Then I would get x plus 0 equals 0. X plus 6 equals 0. So when I solved it, I'd get x equals 0 and x equals negative 6. I prefer the other two methods because that's the methods you guys have seen a lot more. Okay, so absolute value bars, they kind of work a little bit like square roots. You got to get rid of everything around it first. So we're going to divide both by 4. I'm going to get 8x minus 2 is equal to 2. To get rid of absolute value bars, we have to go into a split. I need an 8x minus 2 equals, you always flip past the equal sign. So I'm going to get a positive 2 past my equal sign, and then the same equation with a negative 2, and I'm going to solve both of them. So that's where it also relates to square roots, where it has the positive side and negative side. So we're going to add 2, divide by 8. So I'd get 4 over 8, which simplifies to 1/2. This one, if I add 2, divide by 8, I'll get 0. So you always flip what's past that equal sign. My next one here, we're going to subtract 9. Divide by 3, because right now it's being multiplied. Opposite of multiplying is dividing. My last step is getting rid of everything so that I can then square both sides. It will cancel, so I'll get a 4x minus 8 equals 4. We can add 8. Divide by 4, I got x equals 3. And you can technically check all your answers by plugging it back in and seeing if that side equals 15 when you simplify it. Okay, so if I plug it back in, 4 times 3 gets me 12. 12 minus 8 gets me 4. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 times 3 gets me 6, plus 9 is 15. Okay, so you can check your answer to make sure it does actually work as well. Alright, so we're going to add 2. And get a negative 3. Opposite of squaring is square rooting. Remember, when we solve square roots, we have to include my plus or minus. To get that negative out, we're going to use an I. And then we just got to add this 3. So I got x equals 3 plus or minus I square root of 3. Alright, my next one, let's go ahead and FOIL this and simplify, because I can't divide by it because it's going to get really ugly. So I do 2y squared minus 4y minus 6y plus 6, negative 12y plus 18. Looks like I got y squared and a y, so I'm going to bring everything to one side. Let's go ahead and simplify those combined like terms to get a negative 10y. So I'm going to add my 12y over, and then in the same step I could subtract 18. So I'll get 2y squared plus 2y minus 12. And then it looks like there's a GCF, so I don't want to send that 2 back, I want to take out that 2. So he sits on the outside, I got y squared plus y minus 6. And we're going to move him over, so I'll divide him over there to get rid of him so that I can actually factor. So I'll get y squared plus y minus 6 equals 0 divided by 2 is 0. So anytime you pull out a GCF number, it's actually just going to disappear. So multiplies to negative 6 adds to 1 is going to be 3 and negative 2. So when I do my ZPP, I'll get y is equal to negative 3 and 2. Okay, my next one. Just did this one. We're doing this one now. So we are going to subtract 8. Get negative 8. Opposite of cubing is cube rooting. Okay, so in your calculator, you're going to press the second button. Well, first you're going to press 3. Then you're going to press the second button. And then you're going to press the caret button. That gets you the cube root, and then you can go ahead and type in negative 8. So I'm going to get these cancel each other, so I've just got an x minus 7 and negative 2 when I type that in my calculator, and then all I have to do is add 7 to get 5. Again, you can check your answer to make sure you got the right one. Okay, my next one here, absolute value bars, we go into a split. You cannot split a negative when it's absolute value. So this is actually no solution. Okay, because it has to be positive to go into that split of positive negative. It can't start out negative. Alright, let's go ahead and simplify my parentheses. So this 2 means there's 2 of them. So really we're doing x plus 2, x plus 2. So I'll get x squared plus 4x plus 4 plus, I distribute him, I get 4x plus 8. Then we're going to combine like terms, so I got a 4x and a 4x to get 8x. 4 plus 8 is 12, minus 5 is 7. Multiplies to 7, adds to 8 is going to be 7 and 1. When I do my ZPP, I'll get x is equal to negative 7 and negative 1. Alright, simplify my parentheses again. We'll get 3x squared plus 4x. I got x squared and x, so I want to bring it all over to one side, keeping that x squared positive, so we're going to subtract 21x and subtract 28. Got a GCF, no I don't. I was thinking my GCF was 3, but it is not because of that 17, so we're going to send this 3 back to get negative 84. So multiplies to negative 84, adds to negative 7, negative 17, sorry. So it's going to be x minus 21 and x plus 4. I sent a 3 back, I need to divide by that 3, so I'll get x minus 7, 3x plus 4. And then I do my ZPP. So this one I'll get x equals 7. This one I'll get, I subtract 4, divide by 3. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this so it's a little bit easier. So I'm going to make this stay negative, and I'm going to put this positive 6 in the back end. So remember, we flip our h, we keep our k normal, and it's going to be a shooting star because it's a square root. So I go left 3 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it's going to be 1, 3, 5 to the right, but that negative is going to flip it down. So I actually go right 1, down 1, right down 1, right 3. Come on. Down 1, right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That negative made it reflect down. Okay, my next one, we've got a cubic. So it's going to be 1, 7, 19 up, but it's stretching, so it'll be 2, 14, 38 up. I pull out that 3, I keep my 2 normal, so right 3, oops, erase that, right 3 up 2, so I go right 1 up 2, right 1 up 14, which is way up there, left 1 down 1, or left 1 down 2, sorry, left 1 down 2 because it's stretched, and left 1 down 14 would be way off there. So it kind of looks like this. Remember, cube root is the s turned sideways, which is actually what we're going to do right here. So I pull out my 3, I keep my 7 normal. It's going to reflect this time. So instead of being 1, 7, 19 to the right, it's going to be a little bit different. My s will move. So I'm going to go right 3 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So normally I would go up 1, right 1, up 1, right 7. This time I'm going down 1, right 1, down 1, right 7. Up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because of that negative, it reflected my s. Okay, my circle. Remember, this is my h. We flip it. My k value in here, there isn't one, so it's going to be a 0. And then to get my radius, we square root this. So it's going to be a 4. So I go 2, 0, and 4 every direction. Okay, absolute value, it's normally 1, 1, 1, but we got this negative 3, so it's going to be negative 3, negative 3, negative 3. My vertex is starting at 4, 3. So it's going to be facing downward, so I go right 1, down 3. Right 1, down 1, 2, 3. Right 1, down 1, 2, 3. Left 1, down 3. Left 1, down 3. That was over too far. So it should look like that. Oops, that one went too many over. Left 1, down 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay, my parabola here, because it's to the squared, we're starting it at 5, negative 3. It's going to be 1, 3, 5 up. Nothing to multiply by, so right 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 1, 2, 3. Right 1, up 1. Right 1 up 1, 2, 3. Right 1 up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Left 1 up 1. Left 1 up 1, 2, 3. Left 1 up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's my U. Okay, this one's a line. So I'm going to start at negative 9 on my y-axis. And it is a negative slope, so if I go up 2, to make it negative, I need to go left 3. Okay, or if I go down 2, to keep it negative, I would need to go right 3, and that's kind of off the graph a little bit. Okay, a y equals line is left to right. It's going to be a horizontal line, so I go 4 on my y-axis, so up 4, and I just make a horizontal line, which means x equals, which is this one here, which is number 19, would be on my x-axis at negative 3, and it would be an up and down line. Because it wouldn't have a slope, it would be an undefined slope. Okay, my other parabola over here, my h value is negative 3, there's no k, so it's 0. So negative 3, 0. It's normally 1, 3, 5 up, but now we have to multiply times 1/4, so it's going to be negative 1/4, negative 3/4, negative 5/4, so it's going to be facing down. So I'm going to go right 1 down 1/4, if I can, right 1 down 3/4, left 1 down 1/4, left 1 down 3/4. So he's going to be looking something like that.